Welcome to Tag Day 14. We're going over 7.9b. We're so close to being done reviewing our 7th grade year, and today's focus is going to be on area and circumference of circles. We're going to do a practice problem mainly on the area formula, but I do want to highlight, team, that the hardest part or the most frequent mistake that I'm seeing is when we do not look at the labels of our reference chart. And so thank goodness that when we do come in for STAR testing, we will have the physical formula chart next to us, but we do need to get in the habit of training our eye to look for both places depending on where the question is asking us. So if we look at this problem below, Bonnie's Buffet restaurant uses two different sizes of plates as shown below. The lunch plate has an 8-inch diameter. So here's our lunch plate. I know that the diameter cuts it in half, so I'm going to go ahead and label that. And the dinner plate has a 12-inch diameter. So again, we could cut this plate in half, showing that the cross section is 12 inches. How much more area is offered by the dinner plate than the lunch plate? We're going to justify our answer. So this problem is telling us right off the bat that we are looking at area. So again, if the question wants the circumference, we would look here at the top, but because we are looking at area, we do not need to look at the top formulas. Our eye can go straight to circle, which is here at area equals pi r squared. And so since we are looking for how much more area does the dinner plate have than the lunch plate, I need to find the area for both plates in order to compare them. So let's go ahead and start with the smaller plate, because I see that it is 8 inches as the diameter. So in order to find the radius, I need to cut it in half. So what is half of 8? Oh my goodness, why is this not working? It is 4 inches. I'm going to scream, 4 inches. So I can substitute that into my formula here. And how do I write 4 squared? Well, I know that means 4 times 4. And so I'm going to write that out so I can get in the habit of breaking the 4 times 2 confusion that I see so many times. And then 4 times 4 is 16. And so even though we've been using 3.14 as pi, because we're now getting into the testing season and want to prevent as many errors as we can, we're going to use 3 in replacement of 3.14 just to prevent those decimal issues. And so now we can multiply 16 times 3, which is 48. So the area of the smaller plate is about 48 inches squared. So this is for the smaller plate. But that is not the answer to my question. They don't want the area of the smaller plate. They want to know how much more area is offered by the dinner than the lunch. So we now need to find the area of the dinner plate. So if I see the diameter is 12 inches, the radius then would have to be 6 because that is half of 12. And so when I substitute that into my formula, I'm going now to write 6 squared as 6 times 6. So when I multiply 6 times 6, I see that that's 36. And now I can get ready to multiply by pi. But luckily, we've made it even easier for ourselves to just use 3 instead of 3.14. And 36 times 3 is 108. So the area of the larger plate is 108 inches squared. So does this answer my question? No, it doesn't, because they want to know how much more one holds than the other. So the larger plate holds 108 squared inches, but the smaller plate holds 48 squared inches. So this is almost like a shaded region problem where they want to know how much more the larger plate has than the smaller plate. So how would we determine that? Well, I remember with shaded regions, we had to take out or remove the smaller amount. And how do we take out something or remove? We subtract. So we're going to subtract 108 minus 48. And I see that the dinner plate can hold, so let me write my sentence. The dinner plate holds 60 inches squared more than the lunch plate. So now that answers our question. So let's stamp, guys, that when you go into your independent practice, you will see both area problems and circumference problems. The hardest thing for you to do is to ignore your reference chart. That is the first place you should be looking to identify first which formula to use, then how to substitute into that formula, and then finally to solve. So we're going to try some mixed practice together.